it's the Ringside Club, Paul, A.O., Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream yard. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start.
Peace. What it do, man? You tuned in, man, to the mightiest of the mighty, back live on Thursdays like we never left. It's the Ringside Club. I believe this is episode either 126 or 127. Before we get into what we're actually getting into tonight, man, Chad, how you feeling, brother?
It's been a day, man. It's definitely been a day. We've had a lot of highs. We've had some lows, but overall, we are here live and direct in the Spiznai RSC Ringside Club. Cheers and salute to all of our viewers, listeners, audiences, internets. We appreciate the love, support on all socials, everything that's been going on. You know, y'all, people definitely hit us up and be like, yo, y'all got to do some more shows. What's going on with the shows? And it's just like, yo, we explaining the last shows. WWE product is just, it's like, dog, we're not doing this every week, man. It's like we're going to give y'all some variety when it comes to 2026 RSC, and that's where tonight's episode landed on. So that's where I'm at with it, my brother. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed, black, highly favored. I can't really find I can't find some things to complain about, but overall, I'm just happy to be here. It's Thursday night. We live and direct with our viewers, our audience right here in the almighty RSC YouTube channel. Cheers.
Absolutely, man. I'm unbranded, but I'm sipping on a spin drift as per usual. You know,
AO spins
as per usual, man. Spin King, right?
Spin King.
So yeah, man, it's the Ringside Club's episode either 126, 127. Before we actually let y'all know what we're doing tonight, want to let you know you can follow us across all socials at the Ringside Club or at Ringside Club. We're definitely on Instagram, definitely on TikTok, definitely on X. If you're watching live right now, you're doing that either on X or on YouTube, so you can catch the on demand on both of those platforms as well. Plus all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Once this show is in the can, it will be uploaded to those their channels, and you can tell a friend to tell a friend, man. So what we're doing tonight, for those who may not know, a quick little background on where the brother Chad and myself, we're both from. We're both from Long Island, New York. Myself, I'm from Nassau County, Roosevelt in particular. Chad from Suffolk County and all that. And there's a venue that, if you're familiar with the area or really just a wrestling fan, there's a venue where a lot of big events and notable happenings, pay-per-view shows, all kinds of things are going down, and that is the Nassau Coliseum. I grew up about 10 minutes away from the Nassau Coliseum. And your pop's restaurant is right over there too.
Yeah, right in Uniondale, Tony Max.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, so we were just brainstorming for a while now about just different things that we could do. Obviously, there's always going to be room to talk about current events and what's happening on the shows that are going on this week and predictions. But it's cooler to switch up from time to time and just talk about something different. Personally, what I enjoy about, what we're about to get into is just the different facts and interesting, learnings as I'm researching to talk about this show, just things that I did not know about, other podcasts that I came across, and I, have a quick little 20 minutes to listen and learn something that I didn't know 20 minutes prior to that. So without further ado, with this thing really it's not a spin-off, it's not a new podcast. This is just going to be, episodes. We're going to continue this almost like a sub-series, but this is the Nassau Coliseum video series, where basically we're going to talk about shows that happened at the Nassau Coliseum. And the first one that we're starting out with is the first ever Saturday night's main event that took place in May of 1985. May 10th it was recorded, May 11th it actually aired on NBC. But
First
before we
day.
get into even further detail, Chad, any other thoughts on what we're doing right here?
The day after my birthday, man. It was the best day to start. Good weekend, Mother's Day weekend. We picked the first Saturday night's main event. It was right on the cusp of this weekend, Saturday night's main event. So it was really good timing. You know what I mean? I don't know if we'll get into a predictions talk about it, but we definitely wanted to make sure we gave y'all a walk down memory lane. We usually talk about a lot of the current events that are going on within wrestling, but we wanted to make sure we touch base on some of the origins. You know what I mean? Shout out to the OGs that paved the way, Junkyard Dog, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, you know what I'm saying? It's so many. I mean, Gorilla Monsoon, you know what I mean? RIP to the legend, you know what I mean? It's a good concept, man. I really think we all gonna enjoy this. I'm looking forward to distributing this with my brother, and it's another night on Thursday nights, man.
Facts,
RSC, all my
facts. Salute. And good timing as well, because again, this Saturday is the first. We're talking about the first ever Saturday night's main event, but this Saturday is the first one of 2026. You know what I mean? So that kind of worked out pretty cool. It was in the stars to do so. One of the things, so let's break this down. So I mentioned this was May 10th, aired on May 11th on NBC. And what I really found, one of the things that I found super interesting about the show itself is how Saturday night's main event became a thing in the first place.
Mhm.
So just to give everybody a little bit of a backstory and just a timeline, so we can all kind of follow along here. This was right after. This is technically like the first big televised show after WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So technically, this is like the fallout show of the first WrestleMania.
Correct.
And if you look at the production from WrestleMania, which took place in March, to this first Saturday night's main event, a couple of months. We're not talking about that a couple of weeks, really. 6-7 weeks, 2 months, something like that. You're talking about like a drastic difference in the production value. Like we all know WWE for their production value now, but they were still putting it together around this time, figuring out like what works, how to light it. Wrestling for the hard cam more so than wrestling for the for the audience, especially the seats all the way up top. And a name that's very pivotal as to why this show exists in the first place is a guy named Dick Ebersol, who at the time was the executive producer for Saturday Night Live. And there were two shows that took place on MTV, two WWF shows specifically that took place on MTV prior to this, and really even prior to WrestleMania, and they did amazing numbers. And at the time, we all know Saturday Night Live for being like the
Some of
foundation
my
or one of the
favorites.
pillars. Yeah, one of the pillars of NBC now. But back then, that wasn't necessarily the case. So they were trying things also, and Dick Ebersol was also looking for different things to try.
Yo, sidebar.
Yeah,
I had the most aimed screen names based off Saturday Night Live. I had an
word.
obsession with Saturday Night Live like in my teenage years. It's like, yo, I really want to get to Saturday Night Live. And I was just like, yo, I want to be a cast member. Like, that was around the time when, like, it's like right around when Keenan got on,
Hmm.
S. Mitchell in that era. So, like, I was going back and I was seeing, like, yo, Will Ferrell was here, Chris Rock, like,
Everybody.
everybody but Damon Wayans was on Saturday Night Live as a
Right,
cast.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just flabbergasted. I would have like a screen name like SNL 1992, Weekend Update 2003. I was wilding for Saturday Night Live.
I'm on that type of time, bro. Like even recently when they did all those anniversary shows on NBC and on Peacock, I watched all of that. Like my wife and I sat here and just watched like the best of Saturday Night Live. Like I always loved that, and I always loved like the late night format. Like I legit used to watch the Johnny Carson infomercials for the box set I just love the format, just like a variety show, come in and chop it up with him, or what Letterman was
Right.
doing on CBS or Leno and all. I used to watch all that.
Bro, I really do like that late night format. I can't front, especially as a teenager, as a youth then on a Saturday night, and I could just turn on Saturday Night Live, or like even when we'll fast forward a little bit, but like 2006, like when they brought Saturday Night's main event back to the forefront, you know what I'm saying? Like in that era when it was a John Cena era, it's escaped me right now off the top of my head that card in particular, but I remember like enjoying that because it was a Saturday night and I wasn't used to wrestling on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? That was fly. I was like, oh, it's not a Sunday and it's on TV. Now I gotta ask my mom to order the pay-per-view. Oh, this is dope. Say less. I get John Cena title defense. Oh, it's up. So I saw a lot of the premise of it. Like looking back and doing our due diligence, I understand its presence in modern day WWE. Even now, like just what you described about it being the cool down after WrestleMania or a major PLE, that's essentially what it feels like in current WWE landscape. Is it's like, hey, you're not going to get Backlash or Bad Blood just yet. You might not even get it at all, but you're going to get a Saturday Night's Main Event, then you get the Royal Rumble, and then another major PLE, and then Saturday Night's Main Event again, and then WrestleMania. So
yeah, it definitely plays its part to.
They're spamming it like a finisher, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, those storylines, like we're not forgetting about it, but we can still do something. But you get the major one on the next time we touch down for that, $59.99 or whatever we charge.
Because that's what this card really looks like that we're about to talk about with you guys. Like this card looks like absolute free TV. Like, yo, I've never watched this before we did this episode, before we did this idea. So
that's
like,
interesting too, because like a lot of the old stuff, like I know so much about like the early WrestleManias, and I realized the other day I only know a lot about it because of the clips. I never watched the whole show.
Yes.
So this was one of those shows I'd never watched.
That was amusing to me, just seeing the card, and we'll run down the card in its entirety as we go on. But I just noticed just such a difference. Like the presentation in 1985 felt like it was a variety show. Like it definitely gave that variety show
absolutely
feel.
Was.
Like
Everything
I can't say
from like you have the matches, but then you have like Cyndi Lauper playing a part. You see the Piper's Pit. Think about how many wrestlers have their interview segments now, and trace that all the way back to Piper's Pit. You know what I mean? I don't know if there might have been guys that did that before, but
Fab, Roddy Piper was all over the show. How about that?
All over this show.
He was just all over this entire show, and I was just like, yo, this might as well have been the Piper's Pit Deluxe.
Piper's Pit Pro.
Yeah, Piper's Pit Pro featuring the Saturday Night's Main Event cast. Because he was on everything down to the commercials.
Facts.
I saw more Cyndi Lauper in this rewatch than I've ever seen in my entire life, yo.
Shouts to Cyndi Lauper for calling it Wrestling Mania. This was the fallout for Wrestling Mania, not WrestleMania. I love that. I love that. But yeah, but like so speaking about Cyndi Lauper and then Dick Ebersol, and we get into the card. Again, like real quick. So that MTV, they did a couple of numbers. Those two shows that they did on MTV, I think the Brawl that ended all. I think that was the first live wrestling match on cable TV, and it was like Captain Lou Albano was with the Fabulous Moolah, and Cyndi Lauper was with Wendy Richter, and that did numbers, right? So Dick Ebersol, he's the exec producer at NBC. He's looking at the numbers they do on the MTV, and he's like, "Yo, I want this in the time slot where we would usually put Saturday Night Live reruns, and let's try it out and let's see what happens with it." And that's really how we came, like between the rock and wrestling connection and the reason, them being on MTV in the first place, the role that Cyndi Lauper played, that Girls Just Want to Have Fun video that Captain Lou Albano was in back in the day. Like we're seeing like some of that early crossover, and then NBC just wanting to try different things. And that's really why we ended up with this. And the plan was always like, we're going to do a few of these. This ain't going to be a weekly thing. We're going to do 3 a year, maybe 4 a year. We'll see how it goes. And that initial run, I think, went until the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Like they went on for a while.
They were on for a while, man. It came back in 06, took a hiatus again, and it's rolling ever since in the new gen.
Yep.
It did feel very cartoonish, though. I will say that.
Say what?
It felt cartoonish. Maybe because I'm looking at it from that, like from where we're at now. Back then, I'm like, this feels like a cartoon. Like I wish this was animated. Like if this show was animated, this would probably be even more fire.
But it still felt animated.
It did.
Like all of these guys look like cartoon characters.
Like if Junkyard Dog was the cartoon, it was really colored in. Like this would have been an amazing kid show.
Yeah. But I mean, like that's also the difference that I always hear. A lot of people that were watching live at that time, when you compare and contrast what was going on here versus what was going on with NWA / wasn't even WCW at that time. NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, like the difference in the two presentations are no more evident than when you see stuff like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this is over the top, a little bit cartoonish sometimes. But and then NWA was just like, nah, we about to bleed. You know what I mean? We about to just bleed.
What
Dusty
would
Rhodes is
become
bleeding today.
605
Yeah.
Tuesdays, NWA Power.
Shouts to Turner. Shouts to Turner. So I'm gonna pull the card up, and then I got a note about like the dark matches. There's one dark match in particular, and it's really just because it was a guy named Salvador. There was like there were more dark matches, if I'm not mistaken, than there were matches on TV. But there's one dark match in particular. This dude named Salvatore Belamo. But he had a match with a guy named Johnny Rods. And while I'm putting these notes together, I'm like, Johnny Rods sounds familiar. Johnny Rods sounds familiar. Still alive, 87 years old. He wrestled from 65 to 97. He's in the Hall of Fame. The reason why his name sounds familiar, though, is because I always used to hear Taz talk about him because he's the guy that trained Taz. He trained Taz, Tommy Dreamer, Devon Dudley. Remember Damian Demento from like Superstars days? He trained Prince Nana. He trained Vito, Big Vito, Masha Slamovich, Big Bill. Vince Russo was on here. I don't know about the training for Vince Russo, but I don't know. But like all of those names were trained by the same guy, and he had a dark match on Johnny Rods, and he was on TNA. I don't know if you remember, but he was part of this angle according to these notes. It was an episode of Impact. This is about 2007. LAX attacked Johnny Rods because he was aligned with Team 3D, and then this was right before the Destination X pay-per-view in March 07.
This was right when I fizzled out in that time because this was right when John Cena was at the apex and Shawn Michaels was just like, yo, I'm trying to take the belt, and it just wasn't happening. So it was a wavy time period. Like how you checked out at certain times, like that time period of like 07 through like maybe 09, 010 is when I was just like, yo, I'm out of here for wrestling. Yeah. You know what I mean? But Johnny Rods, I knew that name sounded familiar. Super
familiar. Like I'm reading this, I'm like, Johnny Rods. Used to hear Taz talk about him all the time. Good reason. So let's get into that card, man. We're at the Nassau Coliseum. Again, May 10th, aired on TV. May 11th, 8,300 people, 8,300 people in attendance for the first ever Saturday night's main event on NBC. We got Vince McMahon on commentary alongside the body Jesse Ventura. Jesse eventually became like the voice of Saturday night's main event, even up to this day. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was like officially retired yet. I think he might have been like on the cusp. I don't know if it was official yet, but he eventually became the voice. And so we hear him on commentary here. And let's run down this card. There were 4 matches.
It was very simple too, by the way. Like the commentary itself was just very simple when it came to just who was on deck. You know what I mean? Like I like this commentary group. Hold on a second.
Mean Gene Okerlund doing the interviews. Monsoon. We had Howard Finkel doing the ring announcing.
Gorilla Monsoon, I've actually got to like really do my homework on a lot more, yo. Like I've known Gorilla Monsoon through folklore, but I never actually like watched Gorilla Monsoon content. And this was a really good start.
Was this Gorilla or Vince on commentary?
Gorilla.
It was Gorilla and the body.
Yeah, Gorilla and Jesse.
Gorilla and the body. Okay.
Vince was the announcer still, which is so wavy to see him in that setting. Even Jesse Ventura's outfit is just next.
Yo.
Just next outfit with the chain, the pink. I mean, he was flamboyant as can be. He definitely was the body force.
We opened up with a 6-man tag. It was the U.S. Express. It was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham teaming up with Ricky Steamboat and with Captain Lou Albano in the tuck. And they took on Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik, and the Animal George the Animal Steele, of course, and then classy Freddie Blassie in the tuck as well, on the management side of things. I don't know about you, but like I was first introduced to wrestling in general in the 90s, right? So the first time I saw Mike Rotunda, he was IRS. So anytime after being introduced to him that I would see him wrestling trunks or anything other than like a tie was always just super jarring to me. You know what I mean? Like, who is this guy? Like, that's the same guy.
Right.
And then to also process that he was on the babyface team instead of the heel team was always jarring to me as well. What are your thoughts on this 6-man tag, this opener?
Some of the worst hip drags I've ever seen, courtesy of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. But I mean, I guess given the size of men he was going against, what can you do?
Yeah,
a little sloppy on that one. That was pretty jarring. But Gorilla Monsoon, I'm saying Gorilla Monsoon, George the Animal Steel. I knew him only for his hairy back. I never actually watched him as a wrestler. I just knew him as a gimmick, as a character. I watched the antics. I saw the clips of that. I never actually sat and watched what he would do in the ring. And he is not Kurt Angle. He's definitely
no.
He's absolutely not. He's not even. I want to say Vader. Like, I thought he was gonna be,
cartoon. We opened up talking about cartoon.
Understand
from the green tongue to the hairy back to biting the turnbuckle. I knew him from being the guy that used to bite the turnbuckle.
Okay.
He was always the guy that would bite the turnbuckle until the stuffing came out. Even at the end of this match, you see him like starting to bite the turnbuckle.
Like, if he was around, he'd be present day Wyatt family.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's who
I don't know, because like George, probably not, because like George wasn't so dark. Like, they're cartoonish, but they're also more on the dark side. You know,
he's like their pet. He's like Uncle Fester.
He definitely would have been on those cha-cha slides or whatever. You know what I mean? Like those who's the dude that was in NXT?
He said the cha-cha slide.
The cha-cha slide, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're right. No Way Jose.
No Way Jose. He'd have been No Way Jose.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I got a funny thing. As we run down these matches, let's bring the 1985 personnel and compare them to their current present day.
Yeah, like where would you be
where
now?
Would they
like
land?
If we took you and put you in today's.
If we took you from that show and put you in this current one coming up this weekend, where would you land? Like, where would you currently be in?
Right. So, right.
Yeah, that match was just okay. I mean, just average 6-man tag. It definitely wasn't the party match that you see on AEW, but it was a classic 6-man tag featuring some quality legendary names too. I mean,
second longest match on the card too.
Yo, son, I saw the timestamp. At the end of it, I was like, yo, I can't believe this match has been going on this long. From the awkward high fives to the hip drags, the flailing over. It was a lot going on in this actual match. But it was just serviceable. We'll go with serviceable. A serviceable, commercial, cartoony open. That's how I walked away from that match.
That's fair. Then we get into the Piper's Pit. You know, and again, like just thinking about how WWE produces their TV nowadays, this is right along with that. Like, yeah, this is a big show, but it's not just matches. It's not even just interview segments. We have like other things that we're doing that we're trying to be creative with. And the Piper's Pit, one of the notes that I had, so this Piper's Pit, he's out there, the backstory anyway. Piper's Pit is Piper's segment. He's out there with Cowboy Ace Orton. What's his name? Bob Orton. Randy Orton's father, right? Who has two nicknames for no reason. He's Cowboy and Ace Bob Orton. You know what I mean? Let's pick names out there.
Randy Orton, the Viper, RKO,
all that.
Yeah.
I thought it was ironic though. Like he was, Cowboy Ace, and then the RKO comes from the Ace Crusher, so it's a little bit of irony. But he's out there, and he's out there supposed to be having a conversation one-on-one with his WrestleMania tag team partner, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who of course they lose at WrestleMania to Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. And now there's some falling out as to who should bear the responsibility for that loss. Obviously, Piper doesn't think it's his fault. He's playing the heel at this point, but about to get a babyface turn for Paul Orndorff. And they're running each other down. You know what I mean? Like, you got Bob Orton, you stay over there in the corner, and Piper's like, look, I just think you're a loser. I think you are the reason why we lost that match. and he tries to sucker punch him. Of course, Paul Orndorff gets the better of that situation,
Yes.
and we have a very clear line now as to where Roddy Piper is standing and where Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff is standing.
I wanna take a point from there that what I really loved about this show in particular, and something that we don't really have in current modern day wrestling all too well, is there's a defined line in who is a heel and a face. It's a throwback show, but it's refreshing to watch a show where there's just continuity of who's the heel and who's the baby face. There's no gray area. There's no, yo, I'm cheering for this guy even though he's the dastardly heel. There's no, I'm booing the baby face because he's in the hometown of us. I actually love seeing that dynamic again in wrestling of like, yo, a fine line of who's a heel and who's a face. And Piper's Pit was a great example of that reminder in just that segment alone. And also, I do miss television segments or interview talk show segments in modern day wrestling right now. I know we have them far and wide. Ms. TV, Bailey ditched hers. Who has a television show right now? Kevin Owens doesn't do it anymore.
Kevin
Like,
Owens
who
ain't really been around like that.
Jericho doesn't, you know what I mean? He's not around anymore. So it's like, I actually do miss someone having a television talk show on a wrestling program again. Someone that's worthy of it. You know what I mean? So that was something that I did notice as well too. And it's crazy because we did have those as a heavy influx for quite some time.
Yeah.
So to just have to look at the current modern day and be like, damn, who's got a talk show in the ring right now? Like nobody has really anything. Like, wow, it's interesting. Like,
and also what I enjoyed about this one is like, clearly this wasn't scripted, right? Like they got bullet points. We need to go from A to B to C to XYZ. Y'all fill in the blank. So it felt more authentic from the standpoint if you got two guys that are cutting each other off and they're arguing and they're trying to get their lines in, instead of I say my piece and then you say your piece and then like back and forth. It feels too collaborative. This felt raw. This felt like any argument down any street that you've ever seen at any time. You walk by and these guys are going back and forth. I'm not trying to let you get your word in. You know what I mean? You're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that part also, and I would love to see a bit more of that. Even when we do these interview segments, just a little bit less of the collaborative, and also the freedom to riff off the top and come up with things to say. The best thing that Roddy Piper ever did or that brought to the table was his personality. Was the off the cuff remarks, were the things. That's what the energy. There was nothing finesse about Roddy Piper, either in the ring or on the microphone. And this was a good example.
This whole show was an example of Roddy Piper's aura. Like, he was just everywhere, from the ring to the commercials to the actual promos, the music video with Cyndi Lauper, like Goonies. Never heard the song before. Sure we'll revisit it at some wrestling event. I'm sure it'll pop up or something. Somebody will play it as a throwback.
Yeah.
But that was dope, man. Roddy Piper, God bless the under, man. You know what I'm saying? I know he's definitely had a lot of time on this earth where he made a lot of great things happen. Where he would be in modern day right now, like if he was still alive, he'd be in AEW.
I think
he'd be in AEW, man. He would have did an AEW stint by now.
Oh, he definitely would have done a stint. I think like Piper was always going to be the guy that I think just kind of does his own thing regardless. Like he'll be here for a little while, he pop up over there for a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of acting. I'm going to go over to WCW to get some money over there. So he definitely would have done his stint there. And I think like in any company, you put him, I think he fits on the microphone. I think he fits a little bit better. I don't know, because like modern WWE today feels a little more free than at certain points during Vince McMahon's heyday.
But you know what, though? Even with Roddy Piper, and what I've noticed is a lot of the OGs from that era, none of them are present in the ring or on microphones in WWE product right now. Like, we don't hear from nobody. Like, that's a really too much of a far removed legend. I feel like during the Vince era, we'd always get somebody carted out in the ring and getting their praises rung, and they'd get put in a storyline in a segment. But now I feel like it's literally a focus on all the current, present, and future talent, which is a good thing.
I mean, yeah, no, I think part of that is just they've exhausted who's left. Like they've done that to death. Think about how many Raw reunions they've done. Think about how many DX reunions they've done. Like I think they've done that as you've taken that as far as you go. There's nobody really left like that.
Yeah.
that's going to be fresh. Like, oh, I haven't seen him in maybe really besides Jericho.
Fair.
That
That's
isn't
fair.
officially retired. You know what I mean? All the guys, they're done. You know,
Yeah, it's true, man. It's
dog.
been
We ain't spring chickens, brother.
we're not getting any younger. Understood. Understood.
That's a fact, man. So we go from the Piper's Pit, and that spills over into Hogan versus Cowboy Bob Orton. That's another reason why he was out there. Just a nice little blending. And again, this is more fallout coming out of that main event match. By the way, like we had Mr. T come in and try and make the save for Paul Orndorff while he was getting jumped by Orton and Piper. And then Hulk Hogan cuts his interview. And right after the commercial break, we got this match where world champion Hulk Hogan, and this isn't the Eagle belt. I was noticing like this
Nah,
current
it
belt.
definitely wasn't.
Nah, it wasn't the
Wavy
Eagle
looking
belt.
belt.
This looks a lot like the NWA title, which was kind of what that international title looks like. Oh, excuse me, the national title looks like right now in AEW. Like that ribbon, you know what I mean? I think that was the same mold, if I'm not
That was a
mistaken.
wavy looking belt when I seen Hogan and Mr. T cut that promo. Hogan looked like he actually fucked with black people at that time. Like that was crazy. It's like, what an era. What an era that was, man. Shout out to Mr. T, man. God bless the under, yo.
Yo, think about how big a deal, and if I'm not mistaken, 18 was on NBC.
Yes, I
So
remember.
all of that buzz not only is coming,
yeah,
8 and 18 was huge. You talking about Mr. T at the time was one of the most popular people on earth, one of the most famous human beings on earth. So again, Mr. T, Cyndi Lauper, like WWE is always leaned into that celebrity link to put more eyes, and NBC was capitalizing left and right on all of it.
They definitely went in. I think what I did appreciate with the show is just outside of the opener, these matches weren't that long. Like they kind of just flew by. Like I missed that era of wrestling where like there really was just like a 3 to 7 minute, and maybe there is currently because I watch a lot of the YouTube highlights. I ain't gonna even hold y'all.
I mean, the whole show was an hour.
So I'm saying,
the
like,
whole show was an hour. Like again, I came up watching Superstars Saturday morning, 11 a.m. or noon or whatever. That was an hour. So you get a couple of matches. They're short, a couple of interview segments, and by the time go to the bathroom once, show's over. Done deal.
Sounds like Sunday Night Heat.
Sunday Night Heat. Another one. Shotgun Saturday Night.
Velocity. I was around for the Velocity era.
I was out of there.
Wavy time, son. Wavy time with Velocity.
I was out of there by that.
This match, what stuck out to me, immediately reminded me of Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly at the Royal Rumble 2004.
Why was that?
You have the hot new guy who's the WWE champion, who's a behemoth, who's not taking no L's, versus the serviceable worker who's been there and he's just got mad different names and gimmicks. Bob Holly. What was the other name? Hardcore Holly.
Hardcore, Sparky Plug.
Yeah, you got Hulk Hogan, the behemoth, and then you got Ace Orton, Cowboy Bob Orton, Bobby Orton, Bob Orton, Bob Orton Sr. It's just, it felt like that title match, you know what I mean? Where it was like, you knew the outcome, but it was just how they're going to get to it. And the outcome messed me up because I didn't think that it was even going to end like that. I thought it was just going to be a complete leg drop. It's over. Everyone goes home happy. It's like, that's not how it ended.
Yeah, because we're built. This ain't even about that. You got a title shot, but this ain't really about that. This is about the other thing that we're building towards.
Yes. So this felt like filler, essentially. That's why I said Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly on a pay-per-view match. That was filler. That was just the holdover to WrestleMania. Man.
Yeah.
That was actually the holdover to Eddie Guerrero. So, like, we just had to get it out the way, man. And they got that Bob Orton match out the way. So that's what I really took away from that match. Serviceable match. Hulk Hogan matches don't really wow me or make me go, yo, legendary. It's
what you're getting.
You know what you're getting, and it's the aura of the crowd, everyone hyped for Hogan. So you know what it was.
Yeah. I got a kick out of, like, Hogan was, for a baby face, a heel. Like, he was a baby face, but the maneuvers, he's raking the back, he's raking the eyes, he's biting. So there's a moment here where and I always love when announcers would do this, like specifically the babyface announcers, just try to play like they have no idea what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's a moment where in the corner, Hogan bites Orton on his forehead, and Jesse calls it out. He's like, "Can you imagine the world champion biting his opponent?" And then Vince McMahon is like, "Well, I'm not too sure about that." Like we're watching it; it's very clear,
Yeah, it's pretty
pretty
blatant.
clear. And like those again, like those babyface commentator moments where they have to play dumb. Like we're watching it. No, Hogan is cheating. You can. It's okay to say that
Very
he just
visible.
bit that man.
And
Um,
I've noticed that with Hulk Hogan matches. He's done those maneuvers in many of matches, even
raking
when
the
he
eyes,
wasn't,
raking the
when he
back,
wasn't
biting.
with NWO. I was just like,
He was a heel the whole time. Bobby Heenan was not wrong, brother.
now
Bobby
we know.
Heenan was never wrong, man.
Now we know.
Now we know. When people talk about what was it, the bash at the beach 96 when he turned, everybody's like, yo, Bobby blew it or he botched or he gave the finish away when he was asking whose side are you on. And I always made the argument that that was so consistent with who Bobby Heenan has always been in the dynamic with Heenan versus Hogan, that that didn't give anything away because he's hated that man from day one. Why all of a sudden he's going to be happy to see Hulk Hogan?
Real Isaiah Jordan before
Yeah,
him.
he never trusted him from day one. He didn't give anything away. That wasn't a botch, bro. But you know, I'll die on that hill. But that was Hogan and Orton. Now we have what they call at certain points the women's world championship match, and at other points the ladies championship. But this is Wendy Richter coming in as the champ with Cyndi Lauper, you know, who eventually gets banned from ringside.
Correct.
The fabulous Moolah, she comes to the ring with some paperwork that basically says, Cyndi Lauper, you cannot be here at ringside. You've
Yeah,
been
the C
involved
scroll.
in matches in the past. You're not going to get involved in my match today.
She had the classic pirate C scroll, yo. That was
Yeah, yeah.
FMEM.
She said, "Henceforth," she had the decree. She had the official decree that said, "You cannot be here. Therefore, you must depart."
It was wavy to see her in that setting in 1985 because how I knew Fabulous Moolah was 2000s getting put through a table. So
Yeah, she was Mark Henry. She was getting Bubba, the Bubba Ray power slam through the tables. Her and Mae Young.
yes,
I know as Mae Young's homie.
where do you think Fabulous Moolah would land right now in current wrestling?
Oh, she wouldn't be in current wrestling. She was wilding. She's one of them people that would have just like, oh no, we can't mess with you. She was doing
She,
some wild. She was out here, if I'm not mistaken, and this is allegedly, so I don't get sued, but she was doing some wild things with trafficking people for things.
I think her and Tony Storm.
No. She would not be on television today. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know how you haven't seen Marty Skrull in a very long time?
Yo, the villain.
Yeah, because he's like real villain. You are not on television, my boy.
I thought it was just a one-off with him. It was crazy saying one-off, but I thought it was just a one-off with Marty Skrull. I didn't know he was a part of the whole ring.
He was wild.
Damn, son,
Marty
that's
Skrull was
crazy. You
wild,
just
but
brought up the
that's what I'm saying.
villain.
Like Fabulous Moolah, she was involved in some things.
So
So
she took it to the grave then.
no, it came out. It came out at some point. I don't know at what point, like if she was still alive and everything hit
That's
the
what I'm
fan.
saying. She took it to the grave. Like we ain't got her
No,
side of
but
the
I think
story.
that there were people. It's one of them things. Like if you know, you know. You know, she might have got caught up in I don't know. Point being,
Yeah. You know, we ain't got to delve too much on that. We're talking about the match aspect. You know, we
yeah,
did.
Fabulous Moolah. But I also hadn't
I can
seen
look it up.
outside of like whatever little matches that might have happened in the Attitude Era. She might have had a match or two just on a segment. Never seen a Fabulous Moolah match either, or Wendy Richter match for that matter. Again,
And
both names that I've been familiar with, but I'd never seen a match from either one of them.
I don't think I'd see it ever again either. Fabulous Moolah matches, I just don't think.
Like, and you can tell, like, even at this point, like Fabulous Moolah is in this match and on this show, but from a generation, at least one, maybe two generations ago.
Very
You know,
much.
like that style, whatever she was doing was very much like we're playing to the cheap sheets up top. You know, not really anything athletic going on. There's no moves, no catches, catch can.
Mhm.
But she's delving into that character, just being a despicable person. I also found it interesting that they said that she was like the been the champion for 25 years or something like that. And I call BS on that. It feels like we just didn't have anything to do with the title. So
We have no
you were the last person that had it, and that just happens to be 25 years ago.
We have no competition for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's only but few women that are actually featured, let alone wrestling at this point in time right now. So that's one thing I did notice. It's very few women. Like the one women's match, I was even surprised they had that match on the card, but they had it. And it was another serviceable match.
I think if I could be wrong, but I really think that just speaks to the popularity and the willingness to be involved of Cyndi Lauper and the eyeballs that they know she's going to bring to the table. And if you know you got a star like that, superstar who's bringing a lot of eyeballs to the table, you figure out some way to put her on the card, have her involved. I feel like that's probably why that was the case, more so than beating down the door for the Wendy Rector versus Fabulous Moolah match. I don't know. I don't really know who's doing that.
I think it was a good call sending her to the back. I knew they were probably trying to avoid like any touching, any activity. She wasn't a factor at all in the match, like whatsoever.
Nah, not at all. So, yeah, she came out, they banned her, and then she went and caught a low chair.
That was
smooth.
That was smooth. Smooth way to just avoid like a lawsuit or like anything crazy. Because what I did keep is that entrance way. Yo, that crowd was rowdy, B. Like the cops being on deck, security guard, like that don't look like unsigned talent. Like that look like they're like real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you try this, like we hemming you up, you out of here. Like,
and I like that too, because like we had those real slim aisles.
Both ways, yes.
Like now we have everything like really pushed back. Like you have to walk over to this side and walk over to that side to actually, if you're a wrestler, to go, high five a fan or whatever. They had those, and a lot of those that time, and they even tried to bring that back a little bit when they brought Saturday Night Main Event back a couple years ago, where we have like a very toned down. It's not no LED screens, nothing really going on. It's just here's the the curtain, and you're right there. The fans are right there. I like that energy. Even when speaking about Cyndi Lauper, like it looked like there was a fan that grabbed her and she got a little upset about that or whatever. Like it was that when Hogan came down to
his mama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. I thought that I actually missed that entranceway at the Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden through the fire exit. Bring that back, man.
Yeah.
Bring that vibe back, because that'll restore the feeling real bad.
100%.
People will snap in like, oh, they bringing that set back? Yeah. Oh, it's up. Oh, it's the best pay-per-view ever. It's the best PLE ever.
That's a vibe. Like, I mean, just interesting sets in general. Like I understand why they do all promotions do what they do with the big LED screen. I get it, but this, like, let's bring something back, something creative, or just even the toning down again. Like look at how much of an impact, for example, when this past year when Cena changed his Titantron to just black and it just says John, that was a talking point. I don't need anything flashy. I'm him enough that I don't need the bells and the whistles. I think WWE can say we're it enough that we don't need all those bells and whistles. Let's pack more people in here. We don't need the pyro. We don't need the LED screen. Let's get gritty for a minute. It ain't gonna happen.
Quick,
but
what's your top 2 sets for a pay-per-view?
Oof.
Or we can go top 3. What's your top 3 sets for a pay-per-view?
I don't know. One of the ones that just came to mind, I like those early. I think it was one of those early Double or Nothings with the big chips. I think when Mox made his debut, and he DDT homie on top of the chips, that was tough.
That was dope.
You can't. It's hard to go against those, like the Halloween Havocs. Like WCW got busy, man.
WCW sets like
busy.
So when you just saw Thunder in the plain ass like curtain backdrop with the it was even that was just like, yo, look at the stars in the backdrop.
They got busy, bro.
Oh man. Okay. I will go Backlash. Fake. It's crazy. I fake like the Backlash set, like the swinging pen.
Yeah. Those were tough.
That was tough. I really love King of the Ring. Was tight.
A lot of those King of the Rings were
King of the Ring with the large chair and the glass. Yo, ridiculous set, son. Ridiculous set. And then the last one, I'll probably go.
I'm gonna go what like so I named the AEW, I named the WCW. I'm a sucker for those in your house sets.
Classic. That's a classic.
I'm a sucker for those, man.
In Your House was a good one. That was definitely a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to current. Well, I guess present.
85.
Yeah,
As current as
present
85.
1985.
Yeah.
We're
We
currently
really
in
just
1985.
have one more match. Those were the 3 matches. We
Very
have
on
one more
brand.
match that was the squash.
Very on brand right now for 2026.
Yeah, man. Triple H ain't only the game, he's a student
Throwback.
of the game, bro.
Throwback, man. Taking it back. You're restoring a feeling for real, for real.
Yeah, and that feeling is gonna last about 45 minutes. And that's the show, folks. Executive produced by Paul Levesque
And Lee Fitting.
and Lee Fitting. Yo, sidebar. Speaking about executive producers, not to bring it back to Dick Ebersol, but one of those notes that I came across was he was an executive producer. He got half of the bread for this show, including merch. Like
Really?
Dick Ebersol got bread.
Oh, he
off
made
of,
off?
yeah. He's like, all right, I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna need half. Vince was like, I bet. Okay, say less. My man made half of whatever. I don't know if that was for the life of how long this was on NBC or if it was just for this first one or somewhere in between. But Dick Ebersol made 50% of whatever this first one made.
The rating was 8.8 for the first one and 10.4 for the first one.
Yeah.
On Nielsen. Like, that was bank. Like,
Yo, think about
bank.
They still have they did a spinoff of this called Just the Main Event. I think that was aired on Fridays. A couple years
that was
later.
their Rampage.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's the highest rated show in that time slot, like ever. Like I think it was when right before WrestleMania 3, right before that Andre versus Hogan, like the big one. They were involved in a match together on The Main Event, if I'm not mistaken. And talk about numbers. Talk about numbers. And that, like, think about the importance that, you know, NBC probably plays in just the popularity of WWE in general. Like, when you see have that many people watching one channel at one time, can't beat that. And then getting into the manias.
It's crazy. The main event wasn't the world title, but it was a very good cartoonish main event.
Yeah.
That was, again,
serviceable. This whole show was serviceable. That's probably really on brand for just the way that they used to do house shows back then. Because they could have been looking at this like, you know, it's a house show. We're formatting it at least like that, where the world champ, a lot of times Hogan is going to be there before the intermission. You know what I mean? And then we'll get into the intermission at some point and then, you know, kind of ease everybody out of here. But this, you came for Hogan, and then you can go get your popcorn and all that afterwards. And the other thing is, like, you ain't really see Hulk Hogan wrestle on TV either. So that's a big deal where the guy that you have to, you know, either buy a ticket or buy a pay-per-view, or he's going to be on the show. That's why all those numbers. It wasn't even like you were saying earlier. The match is secondary. Just the fact that he was there was the draw.
The main event. Shout to our black wrestlers. You know,
Junkyard Dog, man, out there with Mama Bertha Ritter versus a guy named Pete Daughtry. That's probably the first and last time his name would be mentioned on this here. I never heard of
Duke before.
He was just here to get beat. He was just here to get beat. Punk step up to get beat down.
I was like, yo, dog, what? How was this the main event, son? Like, granted, this was, but I did appreciate that this is that squash match vibe where it's like, yo, you got it out the way. And this was
more so to see Junkyard Dog.
Yes, because he was insanely over.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, insanely over.
One of the most popular wrestlers of all time. And this was really just more so of a segue to the last segment of the show. You know, he brought his moms out because this was just before Mother's Day. And then you see a little backstage segment where a bunch of wrestlers are back there just chopping it up and wishing the viewing audience a happy Mother's Day as well. And that was it. You know, you throw a little cake on Mean Gene and the Fabulous Moolah.
Send them home happy. Send them home happy. That was it. I like that whole concept of the show. I thought that was really fly, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. it all in all, man, like it was an easy watch. It was hard to track down.
We found it though.
Yeah, but we found it. And this was, a big moment, obviously for WWE, big moment for NBC, big moment for the Nassau Coliseum, man.
Where do you think Junkyard Dog would be in 2026?
Yo, Junkyard Dog reminds me a lot of damn, what's home? Who?
With the Hurt Syndicate.
Nah, he's damn, I'm drawing the wildest blank. Homie that was in TNA, he's in Ring of Honor now. He was on Lucha Underground.
Swerve?
Nah, with the pick.
Willie Mack.
Willie Mack reminds me of Junkyard Dog a lot.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like
I think like
mentor. You'd be a mentor to Willie Mack type shit. Like they'd be like how Nana is to Swerve. I get it. I like that.
Yeah.
I have with that.
Yeah. I think that would have been a real smart connection to put them two together, because just vibe wise, I get the same vibe from what I believe of Junkyard Dog. I get that same vibe from Willie
Going
Mack.
too soon from what I read.
Yeah.
Watch the documentaries.
Yeah. A lot of documentaries and Dark Side of the Rings and all that.
Definitely going too soon.
But one of the most, like, by all accounts, just one of the most popular wrestlers ever. That everybody got their little demons and all that. I guess if
Jack Doherty.
Oh, Jack, no, Junkyard Dog.
No.
I have no notes on Brother Jack.
You're about to go through the whole epilogue on Jack.
I had no notes on Brother Jack.
Yo, actually,
let me tell you this:
the Young Bucks.
He invented the 450 splash.
Yo, God bless the under if that is the case. But
yo, you know who invented the 450 for real?
Huh?
You know who invented the 450 for real? By accident? Oh, I don't know if it was by accident, but who really?
When you said by accident, yeah, Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa Pump.
That's the God. That's the God, man.
But that's the first ever Saturday night's main event. Real quick, for continuity purposes, man, let's run through really fast just the picks, not even previews, just the picks for this Saturday night's main event. I'm gonna pull it up.
We only got about 4 matches, I believe. Some really solid matches, questionable in regards to like.
I see 3 right now.
Oh, never mind. I said 4. There we go.
They're probably gonna add one more. Probably add one more tomorrow.
True.
Yeah, they'll probably add one more tomorrow. But as we stand right now, we got 3 matches: Randy Orton versus Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn. That's a fatal 4-way, and the winner is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship for a match at the Royal Rumble. We have a tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. It's Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, the champs, defending against the Judgment Day's Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. And then a one-on-one match. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Cody Rhodes and the returning Jacob Fatu, who of course cost Cody Rhodes that championship and kind of gifted it to Drew McIntyre a few weeks ago. So let's start with that first one. We got Orton, Trick Williams, Damian. Trick Williams is a star, man.
Well, that
Trick Williams is a star, man.
I'm glad you can finally just not, shun NXT, and you could finally see the greatness that is about to be Trick Williams.
Not for nothing, Trick was one of the reasons that I would turn into NXT when I did. You know what I mean? So, star. You get me on the NXT broadcast, star.
Yeah. He's about to have a run.
Yeah, he's having a run. Orton, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn. Where you see it going? Sami
Zayn. They're in Montreal. I think this is a sick turn of events because I think it's tough. Like, I actually wouldn't mind it. We all want it to be Trick, I feel like.
Yes and no, but like, he just got here.
He just got here, yes.
I'm all for a quick push. I just don't have any reason to believe WWE is ever going to do that. It's not how they book.
It's definitely not how they book. But just based on the other 3 men that are in this match, it's a really tough match to just digest when you think about what's going to happen with Drew McIntyre moving forward with that title until WrestleMania, right? Because Randy Orton, to me, I don't think anyone wants to see Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah, I'm good.
I've
I
watched
think
them the
there's
whole
nothing
thing.
fresh there. We've seen everything that match is going to bring us.
Yes, Randy is super over. You know what I'm saying? He's. I don't think Randy Orton has another heel turn in him at this point. I think
unless I wouldn't mind seeing this match if this is the vehicle to get us to like a Orton Cody like proper feud.
Okay, that's safe. That's safe. Damian Priest. I think a lot of us don't want Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre yet again. We've seen that story. We've done that story already. Just recently, matter of fact. And Damian Priest is not believable to beat Drew McIntyre at this current point in time. Sammy. While I do go with Sammy to win, and I want Sammy to win, I just feel like my prediction last year of like, this is going to be Sammy's year. The Royal Rumble's in Saudi. He's going to win. He's going to WrestleMania. This is his time, the momentum, U.S. title, Intercontinental, main event. And now I feel like this is WWE going, just dangling the carrot like, yeah, guys, it's not happening for your boy, yo. Because he's going to go to Saudi, and he's going to put a hell of a performance up like he did at Elimination Chamber against Roman. But he's getting that Claymore one way or another. He's going to win on Saturday night's main event, but he'll get that Claymore in Saudi Arabia after having the crowd on the cusp of like, yo, is Sammy going to finally do it? Can he finally do it? And it doesn't happen at the hands of Drew McIntyre. And not to mention, they had a match just not too long ago at the last Saturday night's main event. So I think all roads lead to Sammy winning, and it's unfortunate. That's why I say, just give it to Trick. Let Trick just have a one-off.
Like, again, I would love
let him have a one-off real quick.
There's a lot of
next week. Like, you know what I mean? Just one quick joint. That's it.
I think there's a lot of examples of times where it's all right to hotshot somebody. You know,
I agree.
And Trick, you can capitalize on Trick right now, and it would shake things up. He's not the favorite to win, right? So to put him in that position would make this very interesting. I'm not against it.
But for the sake of Saudi, I don't think they want to see Trick Williams. They want to see Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? They're going to give you
the Rumble is in Saudi. I forgot about that.
Rumble's in Saudi. So I just think they're going to want to get Sammy his love in one of his home countries.
Is that his crowning moment? Does he win it over there?
No. That's why
you think Sammy ever wins the world title?
I really want him to, man. Yeah. I really want him to, but I just don't think it's going to happen right now. Like, I want LA Knight to win too. Everybody can't be champion at the same time. It sucks.
Yeah.
So, who you got?
I'm on the same page. I'm gonna go Sammy. I can see the argument for like a Randy Orton win, because I think at some point they do want to push the button on the proper Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes feud.
I agree.
How much time do we have left with Randy Orton?
He done took 6 months off, so I think he's doing a great job healing his body and staying, present and fresh when it's time. But it is going to come a time where we're like, all right, guys, like, can Randy Orton get a title? Like, give my man a belt already. Like, it's been 3 years since he's been back now. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think, but yeah, I think for the Sammy pop over at the Rumble, probably go with Sami Zayn. Probably go with Sami Zayn for that. Plus, I think those two are probably the safe picks because those two are the most popular out of the four. For long time WWE fans. Like Trick is hot right now, but he's still, on his ascent. Whereas Randy Orton and Sami Zayn have been at that level, the level that they're at forever.
I agree.
All right, tag team match, women's tag team championship on the line. Ripley and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez.
I'm going with Rio Sky retaining. They just got the belts. I don't think we need to have Judgment Day win the belts back just yet. I'm sure that it's inevitable, but I think Liv will probably have something to do with this. You know what I mean? Like, she's in the match with Roxanne.
No, it's Liv and Roxanne.
Liv and Roxanne. So Raquel's on the side. So I think Liv is going to end up not taking the pinfall. It'll be Roxanne. And Liv is going to go into the world title picture because what the hell happened to that belt? Like, what's going on there, folks, with that one? So I think it's Rio Sky that retains. They just got the belts not too long ago. Like, we don't need to play potato. Like, I appreciate the highlight on the women's tag team division, but we really don't need to play hot potato with those belts right now. Like again, what you thinking?
Same page.
Mm-hmm.
Same page. Like, you know, Rhea and Io took a while to get the belt. Now they got the belt. Like, let them rock.
I agree.
Period.
We still got
because that's bringing eyes and attention to titles that in the past have been like afterthoughts and sometimes not even on the show.
Fam, women's tag titles are on a prime show in a limited card. Like neither women's title is
on arguably, you know, not even argue, like two of your most popular acts, two of your most popular wrestlers, like Rhea and Io get reactions, period. So yeah. And then yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, man. Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Again, Jacob Fatu just came back. He made his return. He interfered in that cage match. Cody Rhodes ends up losing the title to Drew McIntyre. Now we have an issue, and now we're going to settle it on Saturday night's main event. Tell you what I'd like to have happen. I'd like to see Jacob Fatu get the win. Because I think like there's an opportunity here to see Cody spiral a little bit. You know, every so often he teases, you know, kind of losing it a little bit, going off. Jacob Fatu is just coming back. It'd be nice to see him start to pick up momentum again going into the biggest season of the year, Rumble season and obviously Mania season. And I'd also like to see, like, this is something that I wouldn't mind seeing. Like, we could stay here for a little bit. Like, I think the two of them, you know, once they get to this match, if we don't have like a proper ending, if this isn't a proper blow off, I think both of them are very capable of elevating that feud to where it gets even more personal. Like, it started out being about the title. I think both of them could get this to a point of this being real nasty and bringing out the worst in each other, which makes for some of the best TV. And I think if Jacob Fatu wins, there's a higher chance of that being the route versus if Cody wins. Like, I don't want to see Jacob react and turn heel. You know, like he gets an organic reaction. I think if Cody wins, we run the risk of like Jacob Fatu being the guy to attack him after the bell or attack him on Friday Night SmackDown. And I don't really want to see that. You know, so I'm rooting for Jacob Fatu to win. Just I think it's the more interesting play right here. We see Cody spiral a little bit. We see, you know, Jacob return, and now he's on his ascent up. And then this starts to get nasty. So I'm gonna go with Jacob, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I'm going Jacob. You know, I'm a Cody guy. I'm a part of the Codyverse, but Cody can always hold the L like this. Jacob really does need a W because if he loses here, what does he do moving forward? Have to hope to be a part of something for the Elimination Chamber and then hope to get on the WrestleMania card? Like, Cody can always bounce back from this. I didn't care for this feud. I'm fine with it happening, but I just find it like, yo, Cody, why didn't you just, when Jacob came in and did what he had to do to Drew, why didn't you just like get out the ring?
Oh no, the cage match was stupid. The ending for the cage match was dumb.
Like watching that match and then like knowing where we're at right now, I'm just like, yo, dog, this feud didn't have to be here because neither of y'all have a chance at Drew anyways. It's like neither of y'all are in contention at the moment. Cody absolutely is not in contention, so it's like you just want to fight Jacob for the sake of fighting Jacob because you think he caused you the match, when in reality you could have just walked out the ring and
he actually handed it to you, brother.
Like it's like, yo, dog, you could have just left. Like I think I that's what just like irks me about this particular match. It's just like, yo,
but
dog,
a good heel really 100% buys into their own BS. Yeah. So right, think about like in Cody's mind, everybody else saw exactly what you just said, bro. You could have just walked out. In Cody's mind, nah, he cost me that. I had it won, and he's the reason I ain't the champ. If he's the only person that believes it, that's, you know, enough motivation for somebody to be out of their mind. You know, a really good heel.
That's true.
But you're going with Fatu for the dub.
I'm going with Fatu. I think Fatu takes it. It's fine. Like Cody can bounce back with this. He'll probably win an Elimination Chamber. He'll probably win the Rumble, for being honest.
Cody?
Yeah, 3-peat.
Well, on that note,
adrenaline in my soul.
Man, he did say in his promo the other day how, you know, he's in very rare air Austin and Shawn Michaels, and he's up there, and now he wants to go back to back to back. Sometimes things are said for a reason, folks. So
yo, man,
stay tuned.
just know when the rest of the people out there start to boo Cody when he wins the Royal Rumble, I'm going to be like, yes, Codyverse, we here, adrenaline, it was so. Now he's about to win the Rumble, though. Like, damn,
Man.
like, what? We hype.
So before we get out of here, appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was the first little edition of this Nassau Coliseum video series. This was a fun one. Ended it off with some Saturday night main event, current event talk.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. So we have, I put these in chronological order. The next two shows that took place at the Nassau Coliseum, WrestleMania 2. That was the WrestleMania that they did from 3 different locations. It was one at the Coliseum, then they did in Chicago, and then LA. So I think the first leg of that event took place at the Coliseum. The very next event was NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions. That was the Bunkhouse Stampede. And that has a lot to do with the creation of the Survivor Series. So there's a nice, interesting story there. Which one you want to go with next? We can go in chronological, or we could bounce around a little bit.
Let's go. Where did the one in 2006 take place?
I don't know where. I don't have that in front of me.
I'm trying to think. We can look it up right now.
I don't even have that on the list. Matter of fact, what I have here is
So if it took place in Nassau Coliseum, I would say let's cut to 2006 to talk about the rebirth, the rebrand, when they brought it back to life. I like that's a good one. But if it didn't take place in Nassau Coliseum, we good then. But I think we should do NWA. Let's do NWA.
Yeah, I found the show. I'll send it over to you. But
we'll save WrestleMania episode a little closer towards
Mania. Yeah,
towards Mania.
Good point. But yeah, like this. So all right. So the next one we'll do, next episode of the Ringside Club Nassau Coliseum video series. We'll talk about the NWA Bunkhouse Stampede that was in 1988, and that was counter programmed by Vince McMahon, and that was the reason for the creation of the Survivor Series. So any of y'all that are out here talking about, man, WWE is putting their shows and trying to counter program what AEW is doing, is because it's what they've been doing from the beginning, brother. The whole time, man. This is what they've been doing. But with that being said, for the good brother Chad Law,
good hour, very good hour.
Nice solid 60 minutes. My name is A.O. Baker. This has been the Ringside Club. Make sure you tell a friend, subscribe, all the things. Like, share, subscribe, turn that bell on. We out here. Man. This is the good Sir Blaine Boogie. I mean, we out.